Right, buddy, this is a press conference reaction from Ruben Amorim's game ahead of Manchester United's game against Rangers. I've kind of picked out the biggest kind of key points from that, and I will be talking about them. So let's get straight into it. Now, he talked about the early goals and how they are affecting Manchester United. He said, "I think that it's clear from the games. I could say the same things and the same things out of support of the fans. You know, we are more nervous playing at home than away because we lost 4 games in 5, so it's getting harder, but we can improve. And I think if we don't suffer the first goal like in the 4th minute, I remember others in the 10th minute, 15th minute, then it's really hard to calm down the team. We need the first thing in the mind, they cannot score. We need to score the first one, and if we scored the first one, that would change things, and we would play better at home in the beginning. That's it." And I think we are really clear that we are anxious playing, especially at home. We are suffering goals, and then it's really hard. I think that's clear for everybody that it's getting harder to play at Old Trafford. And listen, it should never be like that. Old Trafford is a fortress, and the fact that Manchester United are struggling to play their ties, do everything in the position that we are right now. We are struggling for confidence and the early goals. Listen, the fact that if team gets early goals, it allows them to calm down. There's not too much pressure. They can play their game at Old Trafford, and that's something that is becoming the biggest issue. Now, the next thing, he talked about the focus on tomorrow. He said the most important thing is that we can improve right away in the next match, and that is like that. Football can change like that, and we can have a lot of ideas. I'm thinking that things could get weird for the reason and another reason, but imagine tomorrow we do not suffer a goal in the beginning and we score. We play well and we go to Fulham and we can win it. That will change, and even the environment here, everything. I don't know what I can sense from the first day. That's when I arrived and I could see that changing things we're going to suffer, and it was really clear. But in this moment, I don't want to say it's going to take a lot of time. It's getting really hard, and you know it. You guys are here for a long time, and when it gets loss after loss, it's hard for everybody. And I want to know that sometimes, and I know that, and sometimes I show the frustration, but I hope we can manage the game tomorrow. He said, "I didn't think I'm a young guy. Sometimes I think I make a mistake. That's why I do not talk after the game. This game I need to talk, and maybe with a mistake, and I get nervous to go to the press conference, really nervous, and say things you shouldn't say. That is it, and sometimes you are a young guy who makes mistakes to improve. I did not promise, and I won't do it again. I do not know. I was trying to improve." That was something that he talked about, obviously, in relation to the fact that he smashed the TV screen post-game against Brighton. Listen, Ruben Amrim's talked a lot. He speaks so much sense in his presses, and I respect the honesty because he speaks how he feels, and that's ultimately what you can really expect from a manager. Now, the next thing, he said on transfer latest, he didn't, obviously the manager doesn't really usually answer this anyway, but he said, "As I understand the question, let's focus on the game, and they don't want to talk about that. It's the rest of you before a game. I'll focus it on the players. I'm here to play and we need to improve to win games. Have that feeling of winning is important for us, so let's focus on that today." Now, he said what Rangers will bring. He said, "We expect that," Harry said, "a tough match, a lot of physicality during the game, and that some important players from Rangers will not play, and we have to know that new players to understand the way that they play with the fullbacks really high on the pitch, and they have talent to score in the final thirds. It's one more difficult game, but it's important for us because we want to keep in playoffs. We need to keep away from the playoffs, and we need extra time to train. I expect the same thing we faced in the last games. A really tough match, a lot of physicality, and also from the fans. Rangers making some noise, so we are prepared, our fans prepared, and we want to win." Listen, this game against Rangers is big. Now, the 5 things to expect will be coming out shortly, but it's a very, very important game for us to get through the stages and eliminate 2 games would be absolutely huge for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, and that's something that we must do. I'm hoping we can do that for the sake of the players' fitness and the fact that we get more chance to train on the training pitch. And I think that's something that's really important for Ruben Amorim at the moment. And you can see him talking about it. He needs all the time he can to possibly train. And that's something that he's talking about in his press conference. You've seen it in the games in Arsenal and Liverpool. And it was no coincidence with the fact that we had more training. The performances improved. And that's like anyone can see that. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, let's see what happens. But listen, that's been the pre-match press conference. Just a short one there. Thanks for watching and peace.